Al has begun.
Ooh.
Ooh.
We sing at the end, you know. We sing at the end, you know. All right, well, sound check works.
It does.
Absolutely awesome. Hello, everyone. We're another Chat with Al 2 days in a row. We're with Dawg, Sidious, and our good friend Chris from Strat, Delaware. And we're going to be talking a little sim sports and some Dungeons and Dragons, D&D, and also Star Wars. Chris is a huge Star Wars fan, as well as Dawg, Sidious, and then we'll go from there. Maybe some Ohio Buckeye football, as both Chris and Dawg, Sidious are Buckeyes fans.
Yeah, all you Michigan people, bring it on.
That's right. So we'll start with you, Chris. Just tell us about your channel, which most people watching this will probably know about, but just in case, you know, it's good to just talk about what you're doing, what your channel's about, and what's coming up. So the floor is yours, Chris.
Oh, it won't take long. Yeah, we got a lot of carryover subscribers, I'm sure, between Al's and my channel. So I'm Chris, Strat, Delaware, guys. What's happening? Do a lot of tabletop sports and, well, pretty much all tabletop sports. I play some video sports on the PC and Xbox as well. But I've got, as you can see behind me, inside pitch baseball, APBA baseball, Strat baseball, APBA football, Strat basketball, hockey, football, dice nuts, golf. I've got a couple of others that aren't there. And I just love rolling dice. Saturdays, I'm a gaming group for RPG. And if it's, I've always said that the tabletop is the best platform for playing a game on that was ever created. Tabletop
I agree.
Platform, yep.
So can I ask you a quick question? Because you said you the RPG.
Mm-hmm.
What RPGs do you play? Out of curiosity, on tabletop.
We play World of Darkness, pretty decent.
Okay.
And I'll run a Star Wars game every once in a while because I'm just that guy. Actually, the guys that we roll with, they have had a couple of games that they've been kicking around over the past play testing and writing of rules and mechanics and stuff like that. So just we have a really good small group that we roll with, 5 or 6 guys every Saturday.
Awesome. Can I ask you another quick question? When are you going to do the golf game? I don't recall that. I don't think I've ever seen that. Have you put that on your channel? Did I miss it?
When I first got it back in like February or March, maybe.
Okay.
More. All I have is Augusta, which I don't mind playing at Augusta. It's a fantastic course.
Yeah, beautiful course.
Yeah, it is. Lord, I would love to lose about a box of top flights on number 12 into Race Creek.
So in the chat, we have MP Fox and Clinton Parks. Hello, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. And one of my favorite things on your channel, I like everything, but my favorite is sibling rivalry. And you can go into that more, but if you can just, I love sibling rivalry with you and your brother Ron. And also, I like the hockey with the Zamboni guy. I love that too. You came up with some really, Dawg, he's come up with some fun stuff. Like he has the hockey game. He bought the little Zamboni, and I can't remember the guy's name now, but it's hilarious because we've given him a personality. Like Chris gave him a personality, and people in the chat have given him a personality. He tends to drink a little bit too much. Marvin, that's it. Marvin. Yep. Good, funny stuff. So.
Oh no, the Zamboni bucket came off the truck. I got it jammed in here with the dice too hard. But yeah, Marvin the Zamboni guy. Hopefully I can get it back on without breaking. There is Marvin.
Marvin! Excellent. Love Marvin. Marvin the Zamboni guy.
And holding it to run into the walls around the ring.
Yes, Marvin has an issue, but we still love him. So. And like I said, I love sibling rivalries. When did you and Ron think of that? I know, like when you were probably younger, you like myself and my brother, we played the football game, Fran Tarkinen, all the time against each other. So what made you guys go back to that? Because it's so cool. And
opening day is what made us go back to that. Opening day.
When you went to Strat, right?
when we went up to Glen Head, and we decided to play some games to show off the cards. And shortly after that, we made videos, like maybe 3 or 4 at a time, of the two of us playing together, and really sibling rivalry is what we call it. It goes back to when we were kids and we were playing in the Ohio Valley where we lived, in the gutter that ran down the street in front of our house. It was kind of like a big union, so it was almost like Tatooine. And he didn't make Han Solo say what I wanted him to, so I smashed his thumbs with a chunk of asphalt.
Makes sense. Makes sense. You got to make Han Solo say what you want him to say. I'm in agreement. So that grudge has held on for a long time.
Well, once he got to be taller than I, we became quick friends.
Excellent. So we're gonna chat away here, and I'm gonna go to Dawg now, Chris. And Dawg, tell us about your channel. I know we do this all the time, but it's been a common occurrence, and we're gonna start doing this also when Dawg's ready. We're gonna alternate. We're gonna do some on Dawg's channel. So floor is yours, Dawg.
All right. So yeah, welcome folks. Thanks for being here tonight. So yeah, I'm Dawg Sidious. So recently I just had a live stream Tuesday, and normally I do like behind the scenes news of what's happening with Star Wars. I do other content too, Lord of the Rings. I'll do Harry Potter stuff when that film comes out too as well, and Game of Thrones too. So big, huge fan of that. And yeah, I was just gonna mention now tonight and seeing about maybe doing maybe next Saturday night on my channel. So
absolutely. So, if I'm around,
you'd be down for that, Al.
Excuse me, absolutely. Coffee burp starting early already. Sorry. It could be an ugly night. So Dawg Sidious, that was on Tuesday or what? Yeah, Tuesday or Wednesday. That was a great live stream. I came home. I'm getting dinner ready for me and my dad. I'm like, who's on? I love YouTube so much. Like, I love watching my friends on YouTube. I don't watch much TV anymore except for sports and movies here and there. And I'm like clicking it on. I'm like, oh, Dawg put something up. And then I go to it. It's a live stream. It was awesome. Great job as you listed your top 10 Star Wars movies. Hello, the Cubs, the Bears in the chat. So, Chris.
Yes.
I'm going to go to you. When did you fall in love? What game was it that gave you the retro sports or just the sim sports bug?
Growing up in Ohio, in eastern Ohio, an hour away from Pittsburgh, 1979, Pirates and Steelers. I mean, black and gold, that's all we lived.
Yep.
And getting our hair cut downtown East Liverpool in the barber shop, there was always a football digest. Maybe a football digest or two on the table. And I would look through it looking for the latest on Joe Green or Jack Lambert or Terry Bradshaw. And always on the back cover was APBA advertisement. And it was the grand picture with Fouts, Winslow, Jefferson, Joyner. You had Danny White, Tony Dorsett, Ron Springs, and you had all the Cowboys and Chargers. And it was be the coach, call the plays yourself.
That's so cool.
Yeah, finally for Christmas of '87, I asked for APBA football. Got the '86 season. And at the time, sorry, Dawg, don't take this wrong, I was a Broncos fan.
Ouch. Oh, my God. Dawg, I didn't know. I didn't know. Dawg, I'm sorry.
I was. And it comes to the expressions of my youth, the error of my ways. But anyway, I loved playing it. I would take it upstairs. I would roll it for hours on end. I did a small little mini arena football replay where I drafted like 7-man teams.
That's cool. How did you alter the rules to that? That's pretty interesting that you did that.
Like the arena, I mean, it would be 50 yards. I had them kick off from the goal line, and any further that it may have gone, like say it was a 64-yard kick with 5-yard deep end zones, it rebounded back out, and the return was made from wherever it ended up.
That is awesome. That is cool.
Yeah. And once that happened, I loved APBA. I loved replaying. I loved playing the games. I loved being the coach. And then in 1991, over that summer, USA Today, in their Baseball Weekly, they had a series through the summer where someone was using Stratomatic computer game, and they were pitting the 32 best batters against each other in a bracket style playoff, and I can't remember who won it. But I was following that and looking at over 162 games, batter versus batter with the same pitchers and the stats and everything. I was like, man, this is just like APBA. This is what I want. And then the following May in '92, I'm in Delaware with my grandparents.
Yep.
My nanny, I go to the strip mall with my nanny. She goes somewhere. I'm like, well, there's a KB down here. I'm going to go check it out.
That's right. The KB toy stores had like Strat kind of games.
Walking down the wall, looking at the board games, curious to see what they had. And I saw Stratomatic, and I knew what it was. $35, 1991 season, grabbed it, mine. It's been Strat baseball ever since. I enjoy the others, but for baseball, for me, it's Stratomatic all the way.
Yeah. I know your quick question, and first I'd like to say hello to Bubba Husky in the chat and BJ Oneland. Hope everyone's doing well. Thank you very much for joining in with us. Quick question. I know you just purchased Inside Pitch.
Mm-hmm.
I actually downloaded the demo, the PC game. I like the batter pitcher interaction.
Yeah.
I still have to, I think my 5 days is up, so I got to really take a look at it when you play, because I've invested so much, as we all do with our games. You invest in your games, and when you have to like justify, you don't have to, but in my mind, I have to say, I'm going to buy another game, and I really like it. What is the only thing with the PC? You can't sim any games. You have to play every game. But I just would play like just teams against each other, and I played a little bit. I kind of like it. There's a few things. It's a little cumbersome for me because you literally have to, every little thing you have to say, yes, this happened. Yes, that happened. What are your thoughts? That probably wouldn't bother me playing with the card and dice, but because I'm used to the PC, I'm like, oh man, I have to punch all this stuff in.
Yeah, the PC game, I'm not familiar with it. I don't know. I was watching someone doing videos on the football game, and I saw how they had to laboriously click every single
time. That's a great word, laborious.
As far as playing the game itself, the baseball game, it's got pros. It's got only a couple cons. It's a really fun game. It is. Again, this is with payoff pitch. It's not a 50-50 game. It's starting with the pitcher and going to the batter and perhaps back to the pitcher if chaos happens, the double asterisk, and it's an automatic thing. But it really is a fun game, and it's not price prohibitive at all. For $7.50 for the cards and dice tabletop game, for $7.50 you get the game pieces, the instructions, the chart, and 2 sample teams to see if you like it.
Yeah. No, definitely. It seems reasonably priced. Like I said, I've invested in other games, and the one laborious is a great word. It's the PC game. I like it. I'm going to download like the football demo because it's all the same mechanic, even though it's a different sport, just to get used to it. But I enjoyed that, and I like the videos. You have those tutorial videos. I watched some of that. So in the chat again, we have BJ Wanlin, we have Milt. Hello, hope all is well. MP Fox, Clinton Parks. So thank you for joining us. Feel free to jump in the chat. As Clinton Parks says, Eric does a lot of inside pitch. Yes, he does. He does a great job, Higher Ground Gaming.
And so does Earl. Does a lot also. Earl Shamblin of Tabletop Baseball.
Yep, dice. And well, I'll tell you. I played my Tarkin football game today, and I was watching the Earls do their football.
It does. That's so fun.
It is fun, and it took me a little bit to figure out because the camera, I don't have like your guys set up. I think I got enough of it, and you can't really see the charts, but I don't think you could see it unless I really had a zoom-in camera anyway. And it was fun, and I learned from them. I'm like, well, I want to adapt it because I'm playing by myself. When I was a kid and I played the football game by myself, I would just like pull a card out of the deck, and I said, I'm going to use dice instead, and it worked out nice. I enjoyed it. It was a fun game. Dawg Sidious was there. He enjoyed it. So, but I'm just going to go to Dawg now. Dawg, did you ever get into sports sims? I know you're a Dungeons and Dragons, a D&D guy. What made you go to D&D? Meaning, like, what? I know, was it because you're a big Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit? Was it things like that just drew you to that type of game, which is a cool game? We talked about Dark Tower, the dumbed down version for me.
Right. I did play one. I recalled. I'm sorry. Oh, you know what, Al? Sorry, I was looking at the stream and there's that lag in here, so I thought you were still talking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm fired. So,
no.
folks, hey, welcome everybody. Hey, Milt and Clinton. Want to say hi to everybody. BJ, Bubba, what's happening, folks? So, thanks for coming out. But you know, I did play one sim baseball game kind of thing, like when I was a kid, and it had like they had like all these players' stats, like I mean, from like Babe Ruth all the way up to I remember like Ozzie Smith was on there also, right? So players like that, but based on all their stats, then you put the the cardboard wheel or whatever in the spin machine, you spin the wheel, and whatever it landed on basically would tell you what would happen or whatever, so
that's interesting concept.
But I played a lot, but I remember playing a lot of that, but yeah, I loved Lord of the Rings is my favorite story of all time growing up, probably, so and yeah, I've always loved that genre ever since the first time I'd seen The Hobbit, and then when I first got into Lord of the Rings. So yeah, Dungeons and Dragons really drew me in. The first time I basically saw a player's handbook, and kind of saw how it worked, and I'll take that back. Really, the first time I ever saw a monsters manual, really, and I saw all the different monsters and all the lore and things of that nature, right? And it just kind of led into one thing led into another. Next thing you know, you're buying your first module player hand set, or handbook and setup, so, but it was fun. So, but it's very similar to what you were doing today, Allie. I mean, it's just rolling the dice.
I just like to hear the story, like how Chris got into it. I know how I got into it. It was sports. Then we played, the military sims. And I just like to hear what drew people into doing something that we all love. It might be different. Like I do sports. I love killing zombies. I don't know. It's a thing I like doing. But, I'm talking about like the sports sims. It's just fun. It draws you into it. It gave you camaraderie with your siblings, with your friends. As I was playing today, my friends hated me because they're like, I go, you can pick any team. I'll be the Giants, right? Because I had Fran targeted. And he has 2 plays that are 10s, right? And I'm like, and when we were kids, you just could run I think we had a rule where you couldn't run the play like 2 times in a row or something. So I could run certain plays every other time. And my friend would get so mad because you get that 10 out of 10 scrambling and you roll a high number and he's off to the races, folks. So it was a lot of fun. But that's when, Chris, I see that you're thinking about, maybe I was looking at the chat that you might be bringing back a little like arena football. That would be really cool. And one of the things I did with the football game with Fran Tarkenton, I actually did the 83 season where I briefly talked about it. I think it was this morning when I was playing the game, where I literally got like 3, 4, I didn't get 4 or 5 actually magazines. Remember the football magazines? They still have them. Probably no one buys them because of the internet now. And I literally went through and I made the chart, the team page charts, and I did it out, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, when you're a kid, I was like all excited, and it's fun what you come up with when you do stuff like this. I don't know, it brings back pleasant memories. So
I think the weirdest one that I ever did over the years, the little handheld green Mattel electronic.
Mattel! Oh, that was so awesome.
I made up on index cards 6 teams.
I remember that.
And the All-Star. I played like a 7 or 8 game schedule, and every play I did, I'd write down and I'd alternate between receivers and between running backs.
That's great.
I mean, so I was doing stats with football before then.
Yeah, and that had the little dashes. And the green one, you could actually throw the ball. The first one, It was just like run away from the people, like keep away, and you'd go around.
Yeah, carpal tunnel, computer in my butt. No, handheld football games.
Exactly. That's why we don't have carpal tunnel. We played that. So let me go to the chat real quick, see if there's any questions. I don't see any questions, just people talk. Yeah. Clinton Park says, J.R.R. Tolkien, me, I'm a Dune all the way. I tried D&D. I was not very good at it. That's a tough game. Like I said, for that type of genre, when Dark Tower came out when I was a kid, that was like thumbs up. I was like, oh, this is so awesome, this game.
Oh, side little note here about D&D. You know how to use a D20 and for successes and fails and everything. The guys that created D&D with dice probabilities using a D20, Stratomatic players.
I tell you,
Right.
again, Clinton Parks, he'll take credit with it because he rolls his own dice, and it's kind of he's trying it true. When I figured out, I went downstairs like, God, I want to roll my own dice with the Strat PC game, and it lets you do that. So I get that element of the board game with the dice rolling. I don't have to look at all the charts and stuff. Now, it's so much fun, you know. And I went down, I found my old. I didn't bring that up. I had my old 1983 Stratomatic, and that's where I had all the dice. You know, it's just so much fun. I enjoy it. I think it's just, for me, it's relaxing.
Right.
And then to find a wonderful YouTube community, you just go on and I can watch people play. If it's live, I can go in the chat, or I can just listen. Sometimes when I was going through stuff with my mom and I would listen to people's games and stuff, it was like having a comforting voice, you know, and it was great. So I love our YouTube community. I think it's, you know, fun stuff. So
we've got a great community. All the guys in the chats, all the other channels like the Earls, Tabletop Baseball Plus.
That's what I forgot to do. I knew I forgot something. So you guys, let me see. I got to give out the plugs, but so Dawg and Chris are huge. And again, we can go to anything. We don't really stay in a set forum. But if you guys want to talk about Star Wars right now, go to it, gents, because that's what I knew I forgot something, and it's the shout outs to people.
But he's going to do the channel, even just members of the community in the chat rooms, and I'm not going to remember everybody. Those who are in right now that we've already talked to, be this Tony Castro, Mike McAllister, Lord, there are so many that are also a part of this community and that drive these channels to be what they are. And I mean,
absolutely great friends of the channel, like you said. So we have links on the page. I did not put them in the chat this time. We have Dawg Sidious, who has joined us, link provided on the page. We also have Chris from Stratomatic Delaware, link is provided on the page. All of these fine channels that I mentioned, the links are provided on the view page. Broke Black Man 94, movie and TV reviews, JD, all things Game of Thrones, and he's an author, and he plays some PS4 games. What's Blazing in Sports for boxing, Higher Ground Gaming with Eric, Mr. Brody, and Miss Mags, and that's Retro Sports, PC. ID Gesture, another wonderful channel. We got to get him on one of these nights. Sports, military strategy games, RPG, Stratomatic Delaware, as I just said, Chris is here, and that's his wonderful channel, as he's already explained it to you. RNGIDP with Craig. He's got soccer and baseball, and that's Card and Dice. Phil, the Issues Guy, with Joe Dirty Locks, movie and TV reviews, Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, so on and so forth. Another great channel. Espo Strat Baseball Network, and that's Card and Dice Baseball. Tabletop Baseball Plus with the two Earls. All kinds of fun tabletop sports games there. Mosley Boxing, another good boxing channel. Ohm and Eno for PC games and PlayStation games, video games, lots of fun. He does a great job with his chat. EO Sports League with Elin Olaf. Again, Retro Sports PC. Bleacher Bums Gaming with Anthony. I love when he does those bios on the older players. Just the fun facts he has. And again, Card and Dice, baseball, auto racing, boxing, good stuff there. Johnny Indie Boots just had a stream with his lovely Iris, and they were that's always a fun time with Johnny Indie Boots. Game of Thrones, and just all kinds of different topics. Max Cornelius, Action PC Baseball. Tribes Fan 879 gives you his updates. He just finished his Stratomatic 1967 Mets baseball season using Card and Dice. AU Pack Mule does a wonderful job. He talks Westworld, Game of Thrones, you name it, he talks it, and he's like a professional talk show host. Clinton Parks, National Pastime 3, Digital Diamond Baseball, Out of the Park Baseball, another wonderful baseball channel. Mr. Utah Mike, check him out. Citadel for trivia. If you like trivia on Friday nights, it's mostly on Friday nights, and Milt was in the chat earlier, and Dawg Sidious goes there a lot. a lot of Game of Thrones trivia, but there's also different kinds of trivia. And original grognard, military strategy, and some sports. Same thing with itinerary hobbyist, military strategy, and some sports. Christy Oldstone's just beautiful reading voice, wonderful short poem by her good friend Lauren that she read out regarding riding the bus. It's absolutely fabulous. And she reads short stories also. Johnny St. Baptiste, he does a music weekly, that's not the right word, theme, and that's a fun channel. Appa Replay, and that's his Twitter handle. That's Brian, but he also has like a website in which he writes articles about his tournament play using Appa, Card and Dice, and Out of the Ballpark, Baseball 19 PC, and Lady Wolverton's Den, Game of Thrones. We got that out of the way. I always have to do that. I feel bad that I forget sometimes, but okay. Woo! Done. Those are all wonderful channels. Check them out and check out who they subscribe to, and let's support our community. If you're not subscribed to one of these two fine gentlemen, I suggest you do it and help them out, help us out, help everybody out. Awesome sauce. Oh, let's talk Star Wars. So, Dawg, Sidious, and I, we've talked about this a bit. Have you seen the new Star Wars movie, Chris?
I saw Solo: A Star Wars Story, yes.
Okay. Did you see the last, what was it, The Last Jedi, it was called?
Yes.
Okay. All right. What are your Dawg? The floor is yours now. You guys can go back and forth. It's going to be interesting to see, and I'll go to the chat to see. I'll read off things when people pop in with questions or with statements. So, I guess give us your overall opinion about what you loved about Star Wars when you were a kid, and then how it's gone through the years and where it's at now. And Dawg, the floor is yours, my friend.
So, what I loved about Star Wars, that's what.
Well, Chris will go. Let Chris go, and then and then you guys can go back and forth. You guys might agree. So,
no, Dawg, you go ahead and go first.
Chris deferred the kickoff.
So, all right. So, yeah, what I loved about Star Wars originally, I don't know. I guess I remember the first time I was when I saw it in the theater, and when the crawl first popped out on the screen, and
absolutely awesome.
And then you saw Princess Leia's ship just kind of going by, and then you saw the big ship flying, following it, and then all the lasers and all the explosions and the sounds and the music and all that stuff. And as a 5-year-old kid, I was just absolutely, it blew my mind, at the time, So, and then, I don't know, it just gripped me from then on, from that point on throughout the film. We follow the droids through, and then we get to see a lightsaber for the first time. So, like, I was already kind of in when I first saw, the things that I had already spoken about, right? But when I saw the lightsaber for the first time, I was kind of in for
that was something completely different for us.
Yeah, it was. I was
cool, like, man. Whoa. So, quick thing in the chat. Let me go to that real quick. BJ Wanland says, for Stratomatic football, can you roll your own dice? I believe you can, but there's so many charts on the PC game, I couldn't bring them all up. So I let the computer roll I click and let the computer roll the dice. I believe you can. I'll check that out later. I've never tried it because I can't get all the charts up to show it out of OBS. So that's BJ Wanland had asked that a little while back and in the chat, and I missed it, and I apologize. So yeah. So did you have a similar experience, Chris, when you first saw Star Wars?
I recall not seeing the movie so much, but I really recall being at my grandparents. We lived in Eastern Ohio. We were out in Maryland, in Bel Air at my grandparents' place, third week of June in 1977. And I remember sitting around the table after dinner, and Grandpa Damon decided that Ron and I were old enough at 7 and 5 to go see Star Wars. And Mom and Nanny were both afraid we were going to have nightmares.
Really?
He said, no, let's go see the movie. So, you know, all this decision making, we didn't show up until after the escape pod had crash landed and they're walking through the desert. And it was kind of a family thing because the first time we went to see Empire Strikes Back, we didn't show up until the Wampa Cave, you know. So we never saw the whole movie until the second time. But it began such a huge impact. And I think the hugest impact of the whole Star Wars series through my whole life, it's got to be Empire Strikes Back. A 10-year-old kid gets scared the crap out of when Darth Vader jumps out of that gantry shadow with a lightsaber going after Luke. And when I walked out of that theater, that's when I realized that the good guys don't always win.
No, they don't.
And that I kind of learned there. And I was like, wow, I mean, that movie, and to this day, Empire Strikes Back is always going to be my favorite movie of all time. Always.
Awesome. I'm gonna go to the chat real quick because BJ Wanlin said, love the first Star Wars because of the rapid fire dialogue and the overall sense of fun and the hand shot first. Oh yeah, in the bar. That was funny. That was good. And hello to Matt. Thank you for joining us. And Bubba Husky. Thank you very much. That was awesome that you shared that, Chris. That is a really cool story. I was watching Dawg and his head just kept nodding. It just, when you talk about it, his head just kept nodding. When Darth Vader, Luke, I'm your father.
And how many times I go through life and just things that I say, but because they were said in Star Wars. I mean, you know, the Bronco makes a weird noise. I look down and I'm like, hear me, baby, hold together.
You pull a Han Solo on it.
Yes, I do. Every single time. I'm like, come on, let's do this. And I'm going to tell you, I pride myself, and now that I've got a live audience that can listen and give me feedback, I need to know how my Darth Vader is and how my Yoda is.
Okay, so can I give you the phrase to say? Is that okay?
Okay.
Can you do Luke, I'm your father?
Absolutely. And actually, you said it wrong.
He did.
I'm sorry.
Everybody, because the line goes, no, I am your father.
That was pretty good.
Thank you.
Okay, so now, can you do Darth Vader ordering a cheeseburger and fries at McDonald's?
No, because when I go to McDonald's, people think I wear a dress and do the soft shoe.
Yoda was a fun character when we first Return of the Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, but when they go to the swamp,
magazine that came out 2 months before the movie did, and they had pictures of Yoda, and I was like, holy crap, this is going to be so cool.
He was like a Muppet on crack after, you know what I mean? Like when you saw him in the prequels, when he has that, again, I jumped, I'm sorry, but when he's fighting the Lord Sith, whatever, and he's jumping all over. He's like, I'm like, oh my God, it's Kermit the Frog on crack. Look at him go. He's like, zoom, zoom, zoom. That was awesome. But when you first meet when you first meet Yoda in the swamp, that was some of the funniest stuff. And then he reveals himself like he's the Jedi Master. So that was really cool. I love that stuff. Moni G, hello, how are you, my friend? Thank you for joining us. So let's hear your Yoda. Dawg, give him something to say for Yoda.
Let me hold on. Shoot, what was the scene? How did it start? Where oh dag, and I can never remember how the scene starts. Between when
they're in the swamp.
Yeah, always
someone you have, yes.
That was Dawg.
You must feel the force around you.
Yeah, that was good. We have dueling. I feel like there should be a banjo. We have dueling Yodas.
Fear lead to anger. Anger lead to hate. Hate lead to suffering.
As Moni G says in the chat, Darth Vader is the baddest asset.
Yes, he is.
Take care, BJ Wanlin. Thank you very much for stopping by.
Hey, BJ.
Yeah, so that was a fun character. I tell you, the Return of the Jedi, they win. I wasn't a big fan of the Ewoks. I know other people are. I wasn't I'll admit I was rooting for the Empire. Shoot me now.
Yoda's tough to do while you're drinking a chocolate shake, by the way.
Yeah, that you did a good job on that, Yoda. Both you guys. Yeah, I can't do that. So that was fun. I did obviously I liked all the Star Wars movies, the first 3.
Yeah.
Then they go to the prequels, to which was my first time. I didn't realize there were, like stories and books and things like that. And the prequels, to me, I like the backstory that you get, how Anakin becomes Darth Vader. That was okay. I enjoyed that. And when he goes and he kills all the Sand People because they kidnapped his mom, it had like a Searchers. If anyone's seen the Searchers with John Wayne, he's looking for his niece. It kind of had that kind of element to it. I mean, they don't show him searching and stuff like that, but he comes back. He says, "Yeah, I killed them all. I got my mom back, but she passed away." That was the things I liked about the prequels. The thing that really bothered me, they had some characters I just didn't like. But I hated Jar Jar Binks. Hated Jar Jar Binks with a passion. He's up there with the Ewoks with me. And again, that's just my personal opinion.
Wait a minute. We're going to see The Force Awakens down in Virginia Beach with my brother, a bunch of our gaming group, and we go down so that way we can see the movie with my 2 nephews, my brother's sons. And on the way back, I just got taken with it, and I did like a 2-hour talk show with Jar Jar Binks. Had everybody rolling. We almost got into like 8 accidents. I'm like, I'd like to be saying hi to all Misa fans out there in this big bomb.
Jar Jar, can you say hi to everyone? Jar Jar, can you say hi to everyone in the chat?
Misa like to be saying hi to everybody out there in that big bad chat. It's Mr. Matt, Herb Pilgrim. How's you doing there, Herb? Watch out for your little Annie.
Bravo, bravo, bravo. I love it.
Oh, man.
Hello, Herb Pilgrim. Hope all is well.
That's great.
As Herb Pilgrim says, Ewoks, you mean dancing teddy bears. That was. I'm going to tell you, that was my favorite impression you did, Chris. Yoda was pretty good. Jar Jar. And Darth Vader was good.
Darth Vader is really good too. Don't mind you. They're all great.
They are. But that one, we got to do.
I haven't heard somebody do Jar Jar that well before. I mean, I've heard people do it, but
that was awesome. Because he told me, he goes, listen, I can do voices and stuff. I have all the music in my head, the voices.
He wasn't BSing you there.
No bullshit there. We said it. We can get away with like so many kind of bad words, and that's it. Yeah. So, that was awesome. I love it. That was cool. So another problem I had with the prequels, too much CGI. It was too busy. You know what I mean? Like too much when the fighting came. There's too many things on screen, and the thing I did like, again, I said it, the backstory for Anakin becoming Darth Vader. I liked that part. So, what were your thoughts on the prequels, Chris, and then Dawg? You can follow up with your thoughts.
The prequels, when they first came out, I mean, it's what we had. It was Star Wars back on the big screen, and without perspective, without hindsight, the prequels were good. Phantom Menace, it was just like A New Hope was. The first half of the movie was for the kids. Let's get the next generation into this.
Yeah.
And about halfway through the movie in the pod races, and I'm like, okay, when is my Star Wars going to show up? And just about that time, Maul gets to the Naboo cruiser and flies off his scooter, and he and Qui-Gon are having at it on the desert. And I'm like, lightsabers. Okay, now it's getting real.
That was cool. That was the Darth Maul with the double light. That was cool. Yes. That was cool.
Attack of the Clones. I was annoyed with the way Hayden Christensen portrayed Anakin, but I think story-wise, it was a good story. I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed Revenge of the Sith, front to back. I really enjoyed Revenge of the Sith. I mean, the immolation scene.
The third one.
Tore me up. It really did.
That was my favorite. That was my favorite of the prequels. The third one that's Revenge of the Sith.
Yes.
Yeah, that was my favorite. And what are your thoughts, Dawg?
On the prequels?
Yes, please.
Oh, I guess, when I first, I'm thinking, pre-Empire Strikes Back time, I had already had a kind of a vision in my head of what had happened, from when Obi-Wan had, basically, told us about the great realm that used to, be long ago, and, how the Jedi's kind of fell and how Darth Vader, killed Luke's father, basically,
Yep.
right? So, I'd kind of wondered if they were ever, at that time, I was kind of wondering if they would ever, do that story, but, things changed, of course, and, once they had the reveal of, Darth Vader being Luke's father and all that, right? So now that, that's kind of thrown out the window, right? So, the only problem, I mean, the main problem with the prequels is that, yeah, it is there to bring in the new generation of fans and that, right? But we already knew what was going to happen, basically, right? We already knew it was going to have a melodramatic ending, basically. So, pardon me, I had something in my eye there, but yeah, I mean, it's not the best, that we've ever gotten, but it's definitely not the worst Star Wars we've ever got. So,
let me go to the chat real quick. Hello to Ken Castro. Hello to Moni G. Hello to Mike McAllister and the original Grognard. Thank you for joining us. And MP Fox says Attack of the Clones was when I kind of left the franchise. Interesting. So he was
right.
gone.
I can agree. Yeah, I can see why a lot of folks did, at the time. So it's kind of like how you said, Aller. They threw in a lot of the CGI stuff, and
Chris and Dawg. I mean, did the CGI bother you, Chris? Because it's too busy. It's just too many things. It's just
It would have been improbable for Lucas to have done it as he did the original 3 with models and actors on that grand a scale. It would have been improbable, if not impossible, for him to do it. So CGI had to be employed, but it was not nearly as good as the original thing would have been had he been able to carry it off.
Yeah, the good points is CGI. I just wish it's not that maybe they could have toned it down a bit instead of having a gazillion, like 10 gazillion, only make it a gazillion. It just. It takes away from something when you see a million things here and a million things here, and they're all shooting at each other, and you're like, yeah, they're going to kill each other, but there's plenty of them. You know what I mean? It's to me.
Real quick, because she did a little Chewie thing, so I got to do my Chewbacca.
Okay.
Let me take the headphone off because this can only be done loud.
Okay. That was pretty good too. Dawg Sidious is nodding his approval. That was cool. And who is that for? Is that for Moni?
Yeah, for Moni G.
Awesome. Awesome.
Hype Chewy, so I figured I ought to do my best audio Chewy.
So Ken Castro, of course, he joins us after we already did like sports sim talk, and he hates movies. So we might have to revisit sports a little bit. So me personally, I like the prequels better than the next set of movies, the post movies. I like the first one, and of all the new ones, Rogue One is my favorite. I know it's a side story, but Rogue One was my favorite because I've already said this to Dawg and other people, and we've talked about it. It was like the Dirty Dozen in space, that they went on this suicide mission to get the plans. It explains why the Death Star is built with a small hole that you can shoot a torpedo through, or womp rats, or whatever the hell Luke called them, and blow it up. I was like, why would you do that? That's the stupidest thing. Why would you have this little hole that you make this whole big thing to destroy things, and you have this little hole that blows things up? So I like Rogue One's my favorite of the new movies, and then it's the remake basically of A New Hope. As Ken Castro says, LOL, Al, all good, my friend. D. Scott Howard has joined us. He says, I'm checking in from Robert Harrington Field on the campus of Western Washington University, halftime of the WWU and University of Puget Sound Loggers. We're up 1-0. Go WWU. D. Scott has to share his. He babysits goats. He house sits goats. We want to know some stuff about that. That's pretty cool. But that's my favorite of the new movies is definitely Rogue One. I know no one likes it, but I do.
I love Rogue One. With Solo a Star Wars story, because of all the flack and the fallout from Last Jedi, which honestly, God, I wish that was a bad dream and someone would just wake up and then the real movie happened. So out into the social media and the boycott and the thing and everything, and I did not go to see it in the theaters. I'm going to admit here in public for the first time, yes, I watched a pirated copy.
No, you didn't. That was a gift.
I did.
That was a gift.
But I'll tell you what, one of the best daggone movies I've ever seen. I enjoyed that so much. God, I love that.
Solo.
When he's going out away from Kessel and getting through the Maw cluster and the asteroid field music starts going. I want to tell you what, Star Wars over the years, as much as you like Luke Skywalker and a lightsaber and the mysticism of the Jedi and everything, man, it's all about the Falcon for me. It's all about the Falcon for me. I see the Falcon fly, goosebumps, start crying just like a kid, and I'm there again whenever I see the Falcon jetting through the stars. Man, I love that part of The Last Jedi because it was the Falcon.
Yeah, because that was like the coolest. It was like this piece of junk, but we all rooted for it as a kid. You know, like, come on, get through. You can do it. And Han Solo was my favorite character, you know.
Walking around with my hand like this, pretending it was the Falcon going through the asteroid field.
So, I know Dawg's not happy with the movies, and I'm in agreement with him. You know, the newer ones. Again, I like Rogue One. I have not been able to get through the first 10 minutes. I've tried twice, and I'm eventually going to watch the whole thing of The Last Jedi. We had a joke on his channel. He was playing a PC video or a video game, and we were in there going, like, you know, the Rebels, they have the better PR and they have the better marketing scheme. And we came up with our marketing scheme for the Empire. But we said, what do the Jedi do when things get tough? They leave. In all the movies, they take off. Yeah, I'm out of here. I can't. It's too tough. I'm out.
45-minute long movie. If you take from where Rose and Finn left the fleet to go get the master, whatever the hell he was,
yeah,
from the time that they get caught on the Dreadnought, you take that whole bunch of the movie out, and you just have the first portion with the evacuation and jump into light speed and then getting caught, and then the battle on Crate. That's good.
What are your thoughts on that, Dawg? That's interesting that he said if you take, again, Chris, if I said it wrong, tell me. So you're saying, Chris, if you took out that portion of the movie that you thought was why it was there, I'm going to assume, and you just you cut it out and you combine those other parts, it's a better movie. Is that what you're saying?
It dragged and it crawled. I mean, it was the hour and 20 minutes of our lives we'll never get back waiting for the fleet to run out of gas. I mean, there had to be a better way to do it. There had to be a better way to do it. There had to be a more engaging way to get Luke back into the trilogy. There had to be a better way to develop the new characters, which they really didn't.
Right.
At the end of the second movie, at the end of The Last Jedi, they're no more developed than they were at the end of Force Awakens. And
the writers like to just blame it on the fans, going, well, you didn't accept the characters. The characters, you didn't tell us anything about them. They were no fun. So.
How come and I'm a racist and a hater, and women, you know, well, whatever.
Oh, absolutely. That's what they think of you.
Exactly.
If you don't like that movie, right, Dawg? We talked about this. Mm-hmm. Dawg has done many videos on this, and they're all excellent. Check them out, Dawg Sidious, and check out our good friend Strat Delaware with Chris. But Dawg has done. I sat there. I would watch these videos, and and I'm like, are they? And I would comment because he's doing them. They're recorded. I'm like, are these people serious? Like, if you don't like this movie, you're some sort of monster, racist, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, are you kidding? The movie sucked. I mean, again, I liked Rogue One. I'm talking about the next one. So what are your thoughts there, Dawg? And I'm going to go to the chat real quick and say hello to Lady Wolverton's Den. Check out that wonderful channel. Hope all is well.
I'm sorry, Al. What were my thoughts on...
Chris had said if you cut out.
Oh, if you cut out. Oh, if you cut out anything in that movie, it improves it. Anything. Yeah. You can cut out everything out of that and it'll improve it. I can go frame for frame on this movie. And I would cut out every single thing. I would bury it in my backyard.
I know you're not a fan of it.
That's what I would do with it. I mean, and personally, that's what I would do. I would bury it in the backyard and do a new one. But I mean, I mean, nothing in this film happens at all in this film. I mean, Luke Skywalker dies and Snoke dies, and but all your main characters are right back in the same spot that you left them in The Force Awakens. So they go from point A all the way to point A. It's an amazing journey of nothing happening.
That's what Chris.
So now, once they get to episode 9, all the things that should have been happening in episode 8 are going to have to happen in episode 9 now, right? They're using, Carrie Fisher's footage from some unreleased footage, basically that wasn't good enough to get on the cutting room floor now, right? So they're going to kind of shoehorn that in to kind of, make it look like she's going to, get more people to, join the cause or whatever, right? But they kind of showed that when they, got their transmission out, right? But I think what they're doing is they're using some deleted scenes.
Yeah, footage that they didn't use.
Yeah, to try to lure people in, to kind of show us stuff that should have happened in this film. So, but yeah, anything you could cut out of this film is the way to go. And it'll improve just by, yeah.
Because Chris said, it's funny because Chris said it, I think in the same way, but yet different, where he said they didn't really develop the characters. And that's what you're saying, point A to point A. So.
Yeah, they tried to take 10 pounds of Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, take the worst parts of all of them, cram it into a 1 pound wet paper bag. So what's left for episode 9?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I told not you, but Dawg, I had said, what I'd like to see for the next Star Wars movie, let's get the perspective of the Empire. I'm kind of being funny, but I'm not. If in Game of Thrones, if you read the book, there's an Uncle Kevin, and he's on the quote unquote, if you're not rooting for that family, the bad side. Most people don't root for the Lannisters. But Uncle Kevin is technically on the wrong side, I guess. But he's a good guy. He tries to make things work right. You know what I mean? And at the end, spoiler alert, if you didn't read the books, earmuffs, Uncle Kevin pushed Cersei aside. He starts running the kingdom with her young son. Things start to work better. People are starting to get happy. The people who want them gone say, we can't have this. This guy's making things work, and he gets assassinated. I'd like to see something from the Empire where, I know I told this to Dawg when we've talked about this before on our chats. Not everyone in the Empire is an a-hole. It's an impossibility. I get it. They're on the quote-unquote bad guy side. But there's got to be some sort of governor out there running a planet or a system going, okay, let's just make things work. And I'd like to see it from the Empire side. That would be different. Some perspective. I don't know. That'd be different. That's just my thought. That's
Kevin gets blowed up on the show, too.
Yeah, but on the show, they didn't develop his character like in the book. And even though it was like a little side story, he never told the story. You always saw it through someone else's eyes. He was an interesting character in the book. I thought, and then he got assassinated because the great quote, the great line that the person who assassinates him says as he's dying, he says, sometimes good people are on the wrong side in the book. And it was an interesting quote because he was just trying to make things work for everybody. And he got assassinated. So I thought that's for a side character in the book, that was an awesome story. And it wasn't told through his eyes. It was just a side story through other people's eyes. I don't know. I'd like to see an Empire perspective. That's just my thought. No one probably agrees with me, but that's my thought. And everyone hates it so much, no one's talking. As Chris is just laughing and laughing. Did you mute yourself, Chris? I can't think
of a film I've ever hated more in my entire life than this film. But, yeah, that's...
I mean, where does it go? You can't...
Al, you couldn't even get through the 10 minutes. I mean, I got to get you to watch the whole thing just to feel my pain.
I'm going to. But, again, I'm not going to... I haven't had the bravery to start it over again. But I'm going to start from the 10 minutes... that I've seen and go on. I think I'm going to, again, I said this before, try to watch it in 10-minute increments because I hate that movie. First 10 minutes was god-awful. We had the crank call joke The guy who's supposed to be the #1 general is an idiot for the Empire. Really? Are you really that stupid? Just shoot him. Bad. I don't know. So, I don't like the movie. Did Chris mute himself?
Did he? Yeah.
I can't hear
you, Chris.
All right, let's go to the chat real quick. And once we get done with this little discussion, we'll then have the chat throw stuff out to us like we normally do. And we'll just go back and forth with the chat. Can you hear him, Dawg? We are experiencing.
No, I can't hear Chris just yet.
Because I could see him talking. It was like a bad.
Mad at me though, because she loves this film, and I always tear into it because I can't help it.
Who's mad at you, Moni?
Yeah.
I mean, again, people can like the film. I don't.
I'm just trolling her.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you, Chris. Can't hear you. I don't know if he can hear us now. Can't hear you, Chris.
You don't have him muted, do you?
No, I didn't. I don't think.
No, I don't think so. No.
No. Because you have to click on it.
Green bars or anything when he's talking there.
Let me click on. I don't think I didn't hit the mouse. No, I don't think. Let me do this. Oh, you know what? Try now. No, see, that mutes him. See, I didn't have him muted. Unclick that. That's great. Now I can't get rid of it. That's awesome. Well, we've come to a screeching stop.
All right.
Chris, what I'm going to do is come back in. Maybe that will really... I don't understand why we can't hear you. Unfortunately, I clicked on that thing to see what... Oh, I get it. When I get rid of that.
What you guys got for us here in the chat? What's your thoughts on this
fiasco?
Star Wars dilemma.
Whoa.
Do you folks even care about Star Wars in the chat? Anybody?
Chris, I think I heard you. Talk again. Experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by. So, the Cubs, the Bears.
The only Jedi Master here, apparently.
The Cubs, the Bears is in the chat, as we've lost the sound for Chris. I don't know if I should take him out and then re-invite him. I don't know why all of a sudden we couldn't hear him. Stratomatic presents. He's going to start rolling dice. We can do a music video. Why is that?
What's your favorite part in the Last Jedi, chat?
All right, I'm going to re-invite Chris.
Since you love the film so much, tell me what your favorite moment in the Last Jedi is. I got to hear this.
Chris, I'm going to re-invite you. Okay, I'm going to re-invite Chris. So, Chris, if you're listening, I'm sending the resending the link via email. I don't know why we lost the.
I like this. What Bubba says here.
What did Bubba say?
They really think outside the box and have the Empire build a space station that's a weapon of mass destruction. That's going to break new ground there, Bubba.
That would be awesome.
That is just so original.
I don't think they've done that before. It's not like they've rehashed stuff. All right, there we go. I just emailed Chris from Strat, Delaware again. All right, and we'll get him back shortly. I don't know what happened with the sound for him.
And okay, Matt's favorite part was when it ended.
Yeah, there's a lot of hate for the movie. So, and hopefully we'll get Chris from Strat, Delaware back in.
Check. Who's that? Oh, Laura Dern with purple hair. Yeah.
She was in the Solo movie, right?
Oh, no, we're talking about Laura Dern.
Oh, okay.
You remember her from Wild at Heart?
Oh yeah,
And,
I know. That's Bruce Dern's daughter, right?
it might, yeah, actually, it might be. I think she was in Jurassic Park, and she's been in a lot of films. I mean, she's Laura Dern. She has purple hair.
Hello, Matt McClinlan. How are you? Hope all is well. What's Blazing in Sports is on here, and we're trying to get Chris. We're trying to get Chris back. I sent him an email.
We lost the sound to Chris there for a moment, so.
And what I did was send him out, but I sent a re-link to it to get him back in the chat. So until Chris comes back, let's see what the chat wants. Oh, we have What's Blazing in Sports. So some quick boxing talk. So T-Dub, did they cancel that fight between Tyson Fury and Wilder? Dawg, do you still have
Are you talking about Deontay Wilder?
Yeah. He was supposed to fight Tyson Fury, and What's Blazing in Sports had a video, and he was talking about that they might cancel that fight. Like, Tyson Fury might back out.
Okay. Last I saw on it was like Deontay like crashed his weigh-in possibly or something like that, or press conference or something like that. That's kind of the last news I heard on it.
As What's Blazing in Sports says, man, it's not looking good. Looks like Fury's having second thoughts. That's too bad. We need a decent fight in the heavyweight division.
Not official yet.
So we have not had Chris come back from Strat, Delaware. I'm going to check my email real quick, though I didn't hear a ba-boop. Usually it's a ba-boop when I get something. I'm going to resend it again. Let's do it again. I don't know why we lost the sound. I could see his lips moving. I'm like, I don't hear him.
Right. And then you know how you got the little green bars there?
Yep.
Like I couldn't see those. So.
All right.
Strange days indeed.
Yeah, because I did not mute him, and then I tried to click unmute, and then I don't know if I actually did mute him because I didn't mute him. So why would I mute him? It makes no sense. But all right, hopefully Chris can rejoin us, or if he can just jump in the chat, we'll just throw the link in there. So
Moni's favorite part in episode 8 was when Luke blew off what? Oh, when he blew off what's her face?
Won't let you join Hangout. I just God. All right, I should have made him close. It's because nuts. All right, bear with us, Chris.
You got his email? You can email it to him, maybe.
Yeah, I emailed it to you, Chris. I was able to unmute, but nothing came of it. All right, let's do it this way.
Scrolling up.
Let's do it this way.
Oh, you were just kidding. I was just kidding too, Moni. I was just playing.
Let's do it this way. Let's get this in the chat here.
I'm reading it. I'm catching up with the chat here. Yeah, Wild at Heart. That was I remember that. It had like Nicolas Cage and I think Willem Dafoe was in it too.
Click on that, Strat, Delaware.
Oh, let's see. Vision. I love the part with the white crust and red earth under the planet when Luke. Okay, yeah, when Luke played the decoy, that was your favorite part. AU said that was his favorite part too. You loved it too. I will hand it to AU. AU's a very smart man. He
played a great devil's advocate with you.
He had great reasons for why he loved the film.
Not allowing me to join. Okay.
Only a person I've seen that's actually done that. Like he actually gave logical meaning, other than the Princess Leia flying in outer space scene. AU really he hit it on the head.
All right. When I took,
they'll just be like, "I loved it, and you should love it too."
Yeah.
If you don't love it, you hate animals.
When I took Chris out of the chat, I just wanted to bring him back in, but now I think somehow I blocked him by accident. I don't know how to. Let's try this. let's see. Go to tools. And that's not going to help. I apologize, Chris. I just wanted.
We got to get him back on here to do that Chewy some more.
I know, and I'm trying.
That
God,
Chewy's freaking amazing. I thought his Jar Jar was good.
I think when I took him out of the chat, I thought I could just re-invite him, but I think it blocked him, and I don't know how to undo that. Nuts. That's my microphone. Invite. All right, let's try it this way. Yeah, because all of a sudden we couldn't hear him. I figured if we re-invited him, you know,
Right.
that would work. But now I think it's, for some reason, it blocked him. Obviously, that's not the way to do it, what I did, so I don't recommend it.
That does that to me on trivia, Moni. All the time. Because I'm too busy trying to copy everybody.
You answer a lot of those questions yourself. Come on, who are you kidding?
I do, don't I?
It's not letting me. This is schnikey. Oh, man. Okay.
Yep, I'll send him to the Kryptonian Phantom Zone.
I did, and I didn't mean to. I'm trying to.
Mr. McSpittalick.
With Mr. Mix. Oh, all right, maybe it's this thing over here. Hold on. Let's do what the hell's this thing? Control. That's me and Dawg. Chat.
All right, but that was your that's your favorite scene though, right? Oh, you have loads of reasons too. I see what you did there, Moni. I get you. I'm sure you do. But you're one of the few, and I appreciate that. I respect that. Because most folks are just like, I love it. I just love it.
I can't get through the first 10 minutes of it.
Yeah, poor Al. He can't even get through 10 minutes. Al hasn't even felt my, the complete pain of it.
No, I've only felt the 10 minutes of pain.
You got to the your mama joke, and
I do not know how to get Chris back because it's.
What do we have to look forward to now? But man, I can't wait to get Chris back in here so we can hear that Chewy again.
As Matt says, we love Chris even though you blocked him. I didn't do it on purpose. I just wanted him to.
Definitely.
That was an accident.
Now definitely he's got me beat on that.
All right. I don't know how to do this. Why won't it let me? I just wanted to take him out and then bring him back in the chat. That's what I wanted to do because he was muted, and I don't know how he got muted. As I saw his, you could see his lips moving. I'm like, I don't hear him. And then Dawg says, yeah, there's no green bar. All right, let's try this again. I should be able to invite. When I invite.
It reminded me of my ex-wife with the lips moving.
Yeah,
and I couldn't hear
blah, 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 blah. Share via email. Okay. No, that's not it. All right, Dawg, take over the show for a moment, my friend.
All right.
I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to put my camera
What's
off.
happening in here, chat? Talk to me.
And let's just.
Oh. I feel like Garth in Wayne's World when Wayne left. But it'll be okay. We got this. Oh, yeah. Remember the He-Man Woman Haters Club from the Little Rascals? Dog, what do you think of my theory that is Star Wars was shown to the public in numerical order, episode 1 through 6, rather than 4 through 6, then 1 through 3, it would never have survived past episode 2. I totally agree with that. I mean, yeah, in the state that they were in, basically, yeah, because Attack of the Clones is not a great film, really. I don't know if we're talking about, though, I mean, if we released them in 1977, though, I mean, it might have blown us out of the water just because of the effects and things of that nature, right? But I have heard about the one way that people like to watch the films is you watch episode 4, episode 5, and then you go back and you watch 1, 2, 3. I forgot what they call that, right? But I kind of call it the Godfather method, where you kind of go back and you watch Robert De Niro's scenes, basically as Vito Corleone, right? Not saying that Anakin Skywalker is anywhere close to like Vito Corleone or something like that, right? But I've heard of that method, right? You watch 4, 5, and then you watch 1, 2, 3, and then you watch episode 6. There's a certain term to do it that way, but it kind of reminded me of doing like with the Godfather Part 2, when they would they would bunch up all of Robert De Niro's scenes at once. I used to love it when they would do that. And you'd watch it on TV, and you'd watch like every single scene that Robert De Niro did. And then it would turn into, you know, Godfather Part 1 from there, and then you got in the Michael story in Part 2, really. I don't know why I started talking about the Godfather, folks, but I hope you don't mind. Blazing liked most of the Star Wars. You know what? I think it's close for me now, Blazing. You know, if I like most of them or not. I might be at about 50-50 now. Maybe 60-40. Let's see. I definitely don't like The Last Jedi. I didn't like Solo. And Rogue One I could kind of give or take of. And Force Awakens I could give or take of. Attack of the Clones, not really all that good. Yeah, so I'm probably around 60-40 or 50-50 now. So we'll see how the pendulum swings this next one. Use your pimp hand and slap that like button now. What else did I miss here in the chat, folks? Sorry, I'm rib for what? Okay, let's see. Hope I kind of answered your question there, Herb. And if I don't answer your question, just use the slap emote and be like, "Hey, dog." Haven't seen Solo yet, and see that's a problem too. A lot of folks just they haven't seen it. It's the first Star Wars film that's going to lose money at the box office. So you're not the only one that has not gone out to see Solo, to see it for what it was. Moni, just you folks can't hear all the college kids partying out here, can you? If you are if it's bothering you, I'll shut this window over here. But the college kids are back, so it's party time apparently. Okay, great. I got one of those Blue Yeti microphones, so I don't know how well it does on. Sometimes they can, you know, like if I'm just walking, it'll pick up just my footsteps and things. I think Al's back.
Yeah, he's not blocked. I don't understand. I just went where you look to see if someone's blocked. It says no one's blocked. I don't get it.
Yeah, how many? You know what? How many folks have seen Solo, by the way, that are in the chat? How many are in the chat? I probably bored everybody to death.
No, you did a good job, Dawg. You did a good job. I apologize. I don't know what happened. I was trying to figure out. I said maybe I blocked him by accident. He's not blocked. I don't understand why you can't click on the link and join.
So, I mean, Moni is probably the only one that's seen it, that has seen it. I've seen it.
What's Blazing in Sports says he's seen it, and so has
Blazing's seen it.
Yeah. I don't understand why I can't get Chris back.
Nobody's seen Solo, and that's why it's going to lose 100. That's why it's lost like $100 million. But I didn't think I could ever fathom a Star Wars film ever losing money at the box office, right? Usually when a Star Wars film comes out, you're usually thinking, wow, this, will it break a record or something like that, right? But not in that way, right? What's Matt doing? Are you guys, what's going on? Oh, you guys are being shysters. How many kids do you know, Dog? My nephew loves Attack of the Clones. How many do I? My nephews, they like the, as far as the new ones, they like the bad guys. So yeah, they root for all the bad guys. So I can kind of see why. I'm kind of rooting for the bad guys too. Other than Kylo Ren, I'm kind of rooting for Hux. Chris should reboot his PC, maybe. I rebooted all my stuff like right prior to this, and yeah, I got this computer last summer. I don't want to bore you with that, but it seems to be working pretty well now. I was having some issues with those Windows updates, like around April time. Boy, those were rough. But I got things squared away now and running like a champ.
Yeah, can you hear me, Dog?
Yep. Yeah, you're fine, Al.
Yeah, he's not blocked. I went in the thing to see. I don't understand why he can't join.
Like, yeah, just got muted and then
I didn't mute him, and then right. I tried. What I thought was if we took him out and then just re-invited him, we'd have the setting again. But then I was like, I looked up to see I said maybe I blocked him when I did that, which I didn't, because I have no one shown as blocked. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to send it to you one more time.
He's on the phone right now, Al. He says he's going to reboot and try it in a couple minutes.
That sucks. So. I'm pissed off.
Thanks for hanging with us here in the chat.
Yeah.
I was holding the fort down here.
Good job.
Got Strats, of course, here. Moni, Bass. We got Matt was in here. Yep. There's another Matt in here too. Yeah, Matt McClellan. Pardon me. Chocolate Shake.
So it was really cool that Dog. Has anyone seen? I thought of something brilliant, and then Dog. I said, "Who else could play Han Solo?" And I said to Dog, I said, "Well, Snake Plissken, And he goes, "Oh yeah, Kurt Russell. He actually auditioned for that, and that was pretty cool." Has anyone seen that? The audition for Kurt Russell when he did Han Solo. That was pretty cool. As Stratomatic Delaware is still with us, as he's a good fella, he says, "Grew up and be the bad guy you know." As Matt McClellan says, "You said my last name perfectly." So that was pretty cool. The Kurt Russell audition, Dog, for Han Solo.
Did you get to finish watching that, Al?
Yeah, I did afterwards. He could have pulled it off, I think.
Definitely.
Burt Reynolds would have been awful. Burt Reynolds would have been. I just don't see it. Burt Reynolds being Han Solo, and he turned down the role.
Thank God.
Yeah, that would have been really, really, really bad.
Because Burt Reynolds was a big, he was a big star at that time, and
absolutely, he was like
that would have been a Burt Reynolds film. It wouldn't have been a Star Wars film. Yeah. Everybody would have been going, "Oh, it's a Burt Reynolds film."
Yeah, because he was one of the number one. He was the number one box office attraction at the time. And that would have just been strange. I don't think he could have pulled it off. Herb Pilgrim says Kurt Russell would have been a good choice as Han. Who else? Out to the chat. Who else besides Kurt Russell would have been a good Han Solo? I'm trying to think. I mean, Kurt Russell just fits it. I think of Snake Plissken, and I said he could pull off Han Solo. As Matt says, Kylo is Lord of Emo. As Moni G says, screw Burt Reynolds, he's no Han Solo. Herb Pilgrim, Burt Reynolds playing Solo would have been like Robert Goulet singing the United States national anthem. Strat Delaware, Michael Douglas.
You know what? Michael Douglas might have been able to pull that one off, maybe.
Moni G says Tom Selleck. And didn't you say Tom Selleck also auditioned for Solo, Dawg?
I don't remember saying that last night, but no. I think I have heard that before.
So
Michael Douglas could have pulled that off. He's a great actor.
Sheldon Cooper is Han Solo. That would have been funny.
Of course he could have pulled that off.
I could have seen that in a spoof. That would have been funny.
Oh, John Travolta. Vinnie Barbarino as Han Solo.
I don't know about that. I mean, he's a decent actor, but I just don't see. You know, it's tough when you've seen Harrison Ford and he fits it, and now we're trying. The only person to me is like Kurt Russell. Russell Crowe. I like Russell Crowe. He would have been a more violent Han Solo. Russell Crowe. Strat Delaware says maybe Travolta. The debonair kind of rogue, sweeping Princess Leia off her feet. Moni G says, Kirk Douglas, no way. Sylvester Stallone, Matt says. The Cubs of Bears says, if Burt Reynolds played Solo, when his pal Dom DeLuise could have played Jabba the Hutt, that would have been awesome. Again, they should have done that in Spaceballs. That would have been funny. That would have been good for Spaceballs. Stratomatic Delaware says, if River Phoenix, speaking the English out, if River Phoenix had not died, that could have been interesting. Moni G says, yes, I like Russell Crowe. I think Russell Crowe could have pulled it off.
That was too bad about River Phoenix. He was a good actor.
Yeah. Had demons. Demons will kill you. As Bubba Husky says, no, the other guy from Urban Cowboy.
Oh, the other guy? Oh,
was he
Scott Gleason? Was that his name, Scott Gleason from
I can't remember.
Like Silverado? You talking about the guy that played the bad guy?
And Stratomatic Diller says, I can do Jabba. All right, we're going to try to get... I'm going to email Stratomatic Delaware again. I don't get why we can't add him. What does this thing do? Oh, don't click on that. Don't click on that. Get out of that. Don't click on that. We'll end the broadcast. It's never good to start clicking around buttons going, what does this do?
All right.
Launch the nuclear. Oh, shit. What's this do? Settings.
All right. Chris is rebooting.
Okay.
Check out Robert Goulet's rendition of the national anthem at the Cassius Clay versus Sonny Liston fight.
Actually, did
they start throwing stuff at him?
He says, yikes. Oh, that had to be bad, huh? As Bubba Husky says, I'll go look. Be right back. All right, I'm going to resend an invitation to Chris. I don't understand why.
All right, was that the one when they started throwing things at him? Or is that another one I'm thinking of?
You have to sing that pretty bad for someone to throw stuff at you.
Oh, that was another one where I saw a guy, instead of saying light by the dawn's early light, he said night. And they just started booing him as soon as he said night. And then you just saw people just starting to throw stuff at him. They took it a little more seriously back then, I think.
Yes, they did. Probably rightfully so. Okay. So I'm
Scott Glenn. I'm sorry, not Gleason. I said Scott Gleason. Yeah, Scott Glenn. Very good. Way to go there. Bubba gets the point.
Bubba hits it out of the ballpark.
And Matt also. Yep, absolutely.
And Matt. Bubba goes yard.
But
Matt
I got
goes
the first
yard.
name right? You know.
Am I clicking?
Who else knows that guy, really, right? Other than us.
Probably not many other people. Good job by Dawg, Sidious, and the chat. Hopefully we can get Chris back in here. Moni G says, okay, SNL, when Kevin Spacey does the impersonation of all the characters, so effing funny.
Oh, did you ever hear his Katharine Hepburn?
No.
Yeah, if you ever get a chance, yeah, check out Kevin Spacey doing Katharine Hepburn. It's pretty comical.
Katharine Hepburn had that shaky voice at the end.
Yeah.
I remember. Do you remember when she did that interview on 2020 and she started talking about what kind of tree she'd want to be? And everyone's like looking at her going, okay.
What?
Look up Katharine Hepburn, 2020 interview, I believe it was. And she starts talking about what kind of, like, tree, you know, growing out of the ground, tree. What kind of tree she would be. I'm not making that up. I'm telling you, I saw that. It was, I'm sitting there as a kid going, okay. She went.
You lost your mind. I'd be a Buckeye tree.
A Buckeye tree. The Cubs the Bears says Scott Glenn is a great actor. Good call. So the Cubs the Bears like Solo. As Moni G says about Kevin Spacey, his Star Wars ones are to die for. Well, he'll have plenty of time to work on his imitations. And again, hopefully we get Chris from Stratomatic Delaware back. I don't know what I did. Somehow the sound left, and what I tried to do was take him out and have him come back in, hopefully to get the sound back, and then he couldn't click on the link. It wouldn't let him come back. And I'm pretty sure it was the link I sent, so. Not letting me in still. What the fudge?
Oh, Herb said it. He just remembered it was horrible. He was about 10 or 11. And in his defense, he was Canadian.
That's true. Why would you get a Canadian to? I know he's a great singer, but why would you get someone who didn't maybe not know all the words? And we still cannot get. What does it say, Stratomatic Delaware? When you click on the link, it just says you can't join. I don't get it. You're not blocked.
Let's go who? What's Moni said there? I couldn't see.
Let's go blue. Let's go blue.
What? I'm sorry, Al. I couldn't. That's
Moni,
all right.
Moni says, let's go blue.
Oh.
I think that's Michigan.
That's what
right?
that was?
Yeah. She's a Michigan fan. Well, we had a wonderful chat going, and somehow Al, Red Sox fan, booted out Chris when I tried to just get his voice back. And now we can't get Chris back in, and I'm pissed off at myself. So. All right, I'm going to try one more time, so I'm going to go dark.
You're not allowed to join this video call. That's crazy. You're my boy, Blue. O-H-I-O. P-U. That's not part of it, Moni. Moni, you know that's not part of it. Al has submerged. Am I oh, did I lose Al? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Now what do I do? Oh, Al's still in here. I was looking at the YouTube page. Now, I wish they would fix this pop-up chat, folks.
I'm just trying to get Chris back in, so I went dark.
I don't know if you folks have been using the pop-out chat at all, but you do anything at all, and it just goes away, and then you got to keep clicking on it. It's just kind of a pain, but it's great to have because you can see everything. Let's see what I got. What do I have? I got a chocolate shake still that I'm working on. but eventually I'm going to have it finished here soon. Then we're going to have to bust out the Mountain Dew. What PU? I'm still see what's going on. What are you folks up to tonight? What's crack-a-lacking, as they say? You're more of a Spartan. So you just claim to be go blue when you see me here. I see what's going on now. Moni knows how to push the buttons, as they say. I like Sparty too. I root for him sometimes. I root for Sparty when Sparty's playing blue. Bubba's playing video game baseball, drinking some Busch. Back here on planet Earth, Kenley Jansen just blew another save. Has given up four home runs in the last 3 games. Yikes. And they pay him? Moni is the devil. Blazing sipping on some Crown. That's always an evening well spent. What else is new here? What's going on in the world of sports tonight? You guys want some sports scores? I can do that. Let's see what's happening in the world of football. I think we had some preseason games tonight. Maybe we can see what's happening if anybody got injured or something. Fireball. McCain recalled. What? Oh. Top Jaguars receiver Lee carted off the field with a knee injury. Luck gives himself a passing grade for the preseason, so Andrew Luck's going to give it another try. But that's about it on sports tonight. Well, that's football news anyway. Or is that the actual headlines? No, that's what's going on here. See, we got the Bears defeated the Chiefs tonight, 27-20.
What was that? The 3rd preseason game?
Yep, we're on week 3 here. We got the Rams over Houston, 21-20. Steelers 16, Titans 6. Indianapolis Colts, San Francisco 49ers. They went at it tonight. Indianapolis wins 23-17. We've got Jacksonville over Atlanta 17-6. Baltimore takes care of business against the Dolphins 27-10.
What's your Cleveland Browns do?
New Orleans Saints destroyed the Chargers 36-7.
Okay, Chris sent another email. I got those emails, Chris. I don't understand why I can't get. Oh, here's another. Let's hopefully.
Sorry to put you to sleep with the preseason, folks, but that's all that happened there. It doesn't matter. Okay, it's preseason.
I'll do that, Chris. I shall do that.
Any major news in sports here? Let's see what's going on.
We're gonna have Chris.
Start getting my news from someplace other than ESPN.
I hate it. I shouldn't say that. I know people who work there.
I mean, it's just kind of quick and painless, sort of. I get my scores and I can go. But yeah, there's nothing going on here. Ex-Warriors guard Young arrested in Hollywood. What's that all about?
All right, we might have Chris back in a moment. We're doing
all
it.
Right.
different.
Oh, Nick Young.
Hopefully we get Chris back. And we did it with a different address. As Matt McClellan says, preseason snoozing. Yeah, I used to like preseason in when I was a kid. Moni G, did you see my Bixing News, Dog?
What news
Scroll
was
up.
that? I'm sorry. What was your news?
You still couldn't join, Chris? Oh my God. What the?
No, I did not see your boxing news. I'm scrolling up right now.
She
Moni.
said boxing news.
Hey, did you see that boxer go out of the ring before his fight? No, I did not see that.
That's wild. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to try something because I'm pissed off at myself. We're going to close down the broadcast, and I want to see if I close down, if I can invite him back in. So thank you for everyone. Thank you, Dawg Sidious. Thank you, Chris from Strat, Delaware.
Thanks, everybody, and thanks for.
I'm sorry about that. We might be back
with me, man, when things were kind of.
So
I appreciate it.
We're going to try this.
Awesome.
We're going to shut down and come back. And if you want to jump back in, it'll be open to whatever subjects you want. And I'm going to try to get. So I'm going to reinvite. I'm going to close out and start a new one.
We're going to start a new one. So don't. Yeah, just make sure everybody. Yeah. If you got Al's notifications.
Yeah. And I'm pissed at myself now.
You guys know how it works.
I don't know what the hell I did.
We're all pros here, right? Everybody's a pro in the chat.
Yeah, they're pros. I'm not a pro, that's for sure. So I just have to figure this out because I'm not happy with myself.
No problem, my friend. We
all
got
right.
This.
All right. So I'm going to stop the broadcast.
I love you, chat.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. We're going to try to get back. God bless. Peace.